So I definitely want to talk about the biggest news today in the stock market. The two stonks, the two Reddit darlings, GME and AMC. Oh, we got to talk about GME first, right? I mean, if you look over the past few days, few weeks, it's been, around 60, 70, recently 40, 50 range. Today it opened at 44.70 with a volume of close to 200,000. So another normal day, you would say, right? For
Yeah, it was
GameStop?
flat all day. Same thing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
flat all day. Um,
Low volume.
Low volume, exactly. And if you think about it, not much news has been had really recently, except for yesterday, right? We had the news that the CFO was going to step down, and that could have positive and negative effects, right? Because I mean, a lot of people think, okay, they need to revamp the whole company and get it more into the e-commerce feel, and maybe the CFO wasn't the right guy, and now they're searching for a new CFO. But I gotta be honest with you, that that can't be why this happened today, right? It has to be the Wall Street bets crowd, right? It has to be the diamond hands, right? It has to be those that never sold. I mean, what can you tell me? This is
And I believe some institutional buying also, because the volume is too heavy for just people, because they don't see that much hype as before. Now you see increasing because of the FOMO. People
right.
are, but you don't see as much hype as when it hit peak media, a few weeks ago. So might be some institutional buying, and I thought on the beginning of the week it might had some spikes because on the weekend I heard about a deep F in value doubling down, and
Right.
rumors of Shamat. He was saying some things on Twitter, not about GME, but people thought could be about GME,
It's
but
kind
nothing
of,
happened until today. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, back to Shamath, like you said, it's one of those Elon Musk type tweets, right? Where he says something and he doesn't say specifically, but then people just kind of know, okay.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, people put two and two together.
And a lot of people waiting for round two. So at some point, something we knew something would happen, But and this week was a good week to but
Yeah,
not right now. I did not expect it today.
yeah. No, exactly. And I got to be honest with you. I think, you and I are more of the value play, long term, options. And I mean, you and I got caught up in the hype, right? When it first started. I know that I think I bought my first share of GameStop the day it hit 483, and and it took a dip. I'm like, oh my God, I got to buy some. So I got in at like 300.
Yeah,
And then and the rest, right? So I had to average down, average down, average down. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to be diamond handed and see what happens, right? So I honestly got to be honest with you. I was expecting that it was going to get closer to $20. And I was like, I'm going to just average down and then just see what happens then. But I didn't expect this soon. I didn't expect it at all. Um,
so look at the volume today. What time it started happening?
yeah, exactly, right. So I mean, let's just go out throughout the day, right? So I mean, we look; it's pretty much flat the whole day, and we're in a group, right? You and I are in a group with our buddies, and we talk about stocks and everything. And one of them was like, "GameStop is up 70% today." I was like, "I haven't even paid attention. Let me take a look." So when I looked, when he said that, it was around like it was around here, right? 335, right? So keep in mind, it opened at 44, right? And then you had these candles here, and then this is where you started seeing the movement. So I was like, man, 66. I was like, okay, be nice to got to 80. Then the next candle it hit 88. And what's funny is it hit 91.70, and I'm like, holy crap, it's happening again. But what's funny is I had to go into a meeting at work, right? So around this time, 3:45, and I talked to a buddy of mine. I was like, keep an eye on GameStop because I have this meeting, and I guarantee you, the moment I come out, GameStop is gonna be over 100, right? And I'm not saying this to brag. My crystal ball was on point today because I come out of the meeting around here at
And I saw the
4:05.
message when you said that, it was around like 60, like 71 or something
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was around here, I think, around like one of these, right? So I come out. Not only did it hit $100, it hit $117,
Then you
and
said you're gonna hit 200, and
and then I said as a joke, I said, you know what? It's gonna hit 200 by 6 p.m. is what I said, right? And I was wrong because you know what? It hit 200 at 5 p.m. Look at this,
yeah,
5 p.m. Sorry, not 5 p.m. 4:50. It hit $200.
yeah. I was quiet until then. And then when it hit 200, I think you remember I told you
You
sell it.
told
You
me
know.
sell, right? Because there's going to be a sell-off, right? And I mean that's what you see based on the charts here. And then our chart. This is courtesy of Robinhood, of course, which we both have accounts. We both have holdings in these stocks. And if you look, the last chart we have, or the last candle we have, is at 555, where it closed at 148.95. So when I looked at that, I'm like, okay,
Wow, take a look at now. 189. Is
yeah,
that
yeah, right. So yeah,
a
this
level?
is this is live right now, right? So I mean, we thought, okay, this is gonna go back to 100, right? Most of us
Yeah.
thought,
Yeah,
and now
this
it's
is
at
7:30 p.m. on Thursday.
yeah. Look at the percentage, right?
Yeah.
Look at the dollar amount, $144. So it basically went from $44 to $200 to $140 or $150. Now it's back to 188. I mean, I gotta tell you, it was such a roller coaster ride for me today because I'm in this. I got in the movement, and I'm diamond handed. I know as you are as well. Um, but I gotta tell you that tomorrow for me is gonna be key because we're seeing it now. It's it's at 191. It may even hit 200 before we're done here. But tomorrow, I think what's gonna happen is once it hits pre-market, right? I think some people are gonna say, what are they gonna say? They're gonna say FOMO, fear of missing out. I gotta get in this because it's gonna hit 500 again or
Yeah.
483. I think was the high last time.
And you have to consider a few things. Some that might push up and some that might push down.
Yeah,
The first one, the pushing down part, is a lot of people are just waiting to get their money back, and or break
true.
even or reduce the losses. A lot of people bought it on the 300, 400 levels. So they might bring, a lot of selling pressure, and that might happen, or people just gonna hold it. But a lot of people gonna sell it as well. So there's gonna be a battle. It's not gonna be just like a straight up
Oh
to.
yeah. Oh no, for sure, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you, and I think if we were to say projections, right? I think I would be closer. I think I would be more bullish, and you would be more bearish, right? Because again,
Yeah.
there's no way of knowing, right? What makes me bullish, I'll be honest with you, is the fact that I mean, if you think about valuations, you think about fundamentals, throw that out the window, right? Because this is bigger than that. It's about the movement. It's about the game stonk. It's about the Wall Street bets, the Reddit crowd.
Yeah.
Which is funny because this stock went so bananas that even Reddit was down,
Yeah, that's
right?
true. Yeah. The same guy that pushed the button to shut down Robinhood the other week, he shut down Reddit, try to stop it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I'm glad you said that though because what I think what hurt GameStop last time, right, is again, obviously we don't have the same momentum that we had last time, but I think is that the fact that Robinhood and TD Ameritrade and all these, trading platforms, they basically limited the buying and all you could do was sell. So obviously that made everybody just say, I'm going to take profits, sell, or just get out before it tanks.
There's no option, only selling pressure. You cannot buy it. That's the only way to the stock would go is down.
Exactly. Exactly. And I honestly, after last week, DFV, Deep F and Value, was there talking, and then Robinhood was there. So I think Robinhood has got their stuff together where they're not going to let that happen. I mean, it can't happen again because it was bad the last time. You got to let the market just do it. And people need to also, we'll use this as caveat. mean, people are playing with, this is real life. This is not a game, right? So you need to be aware that, yes, you can get in and you can make profits, but you also have to be willing to accept that, hey, if it doesn't go my way, have an exit strategy, have a stop loss so that you get out and that you don't lose. Don't go more. What I'm saying is, don't go mortgage your house and buy all these stocks.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to always consider the two sides of the coin. You know, now the good part is the stimulus might come very soon. That might push the stock up a lot.
Yeah.
And there's probably no more restrictions on the stock. So, you know, but you have to look at the downside also. A lot of people are just, you know, emotional to get their money back and still holding.
Yeah.
So they will try to sell it to, you know, so that's going to be that battle. But if Friday, the people start getting their stimulus check or the confirmation that they're going to get it, next week might be crazy, you know, because you see it's a battle. You know, in 1 minute it changed to 190 to 180, so a lot of pressure both ways, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you look here, right, and now it's kind of just hanging around here, support resistance levels. So yeah, it's definitely gonna, like I said, I think pre-market. Here's my prediction, right? I think pre-market it's gonna pass 200. I think market opens, people take profits, it's gonna go under 200. And I think it's just going to be all over the place. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I think so. I think the morning, now that I see that, you know, I was more bearish, you know, earlier today about people taking profits, but now if you consider the no more restrictions, people are waiting for the round 2 to pump it up, and the stimulus might come very soon.
Yeah. And you know, you bring up a good point. You talk about round 2, right? So that whole YOLO, FOMO, fear of missing out. People are like, oh my God, it's round 2. If it hit 483 last time and I'm in at 185 and it's going to hit 400, easy
Now remember,
money, right?
the hype, take a look at Google Trends to see. It's not the hype is not the same as before, you know?
Yeah. So if you, this is a great resource, right? Google Trends, and we're gonna go down here, and let's look at recently trading. Look at that.
Number one right now.
Number one right now, right? So
if you think about it, you just a few hours ago that happened, you know. So a lot of people that they're not all the time like us, you know, on the markets seeing everything. So tomorrow might be like a FOMO day. A lot of people are gonna. So that's why I changed a little bit to think. If you think about it, you know, I was kind of waiting to drop a little more, but now tomorrow might be a big day.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, and let's look at this, right? This is basically the interest over time, right? This is so I basically did it the last 90 days, right? I mean, look at the amount of volume or the amount of interest in the stock, right? January 28th, and it went down, it died down, and went up again, and now it's down, and now it looks like it wants to creep back up. So like I said, tomorrow is a big day to determine if it's going to just make it round 2, take a run, or if it's going to run out of steam and then just kind of go back to where it was under 100, between that 50 to 100 range.
And what is
so hard to predict.
That chart there's nothing to do with this with the stock, you know. It's just the But if you look at this at the chart of the actual stock, is very similar to the Google Trends, you know. So that's a good thing to think if you think about it. To look at the 3 months, it's very similar. The hype, and then down, and then a little bit.
Yep, that whole movement, exactly. And where was I?
And now AMC, it's doing the same thing, right? It's following exactly just like the game.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because, right, look at the 1-day chart. So let's look at this, right? It opened at 9:30. Quiet. So I guess 3:10, right, is when we saw movement. Let's look at AMC. So AMC was a little bit more movement, right?
Yeah.
So, and the reason that I think that AMC had more movement, and again, the volume was higher, but I also think that the news coming out yesterday that they're going to open the stocks, the movie theaters in New York, and then Cuomo confirmed today. I think that generated more buzz.
Yeah,
But
he
then,
confirmed earlier today. That's why on the morning
yeah,
earlier, it's higher than the GameStop that was just flat.
yeah, and then look. I mean, look at this, right? It opened at what 9:30. It opened at 7:23, and it got up to 11:30. I mean, up 44% right now. And now you mentioned something that I want to go back to, right? You mentioned the stimulus check, right? Like right now, like honestly, like if I have that $1,400, and again, responsibly researching, if you want to get in this action, make sure you do your due diligence and your research, and make sure you're not paying the bills and not paying your mortgage. And you say, I got to use this $1,400 because I'm going to be a millionaire. You can't do that. But between the two, I just think GameStop. I mean, it's like to get in like right now because again, we don't know what's going to happen, right? To get in at 185 right now, and if this thing goes back to under 100, again, keep in mind it was 44 today. But AMC, now I'm looking from that whole YOLO perspective, right? The FOMO perspective. AMC is more in a sense a bang for your buck, right? Where I guess you could say GME is Bitcoin and AMC is Ethereum, right? That kind of correlation, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and the same thing with AMC, right? I mean, look at all. I mean, the movement was all over the place.
Yeah, AMC had better news than GameStop. Actually, GameStop had no like actual good news today, and AMC got like 3 times less percentage on
Yeah,
up. So and is a cheaper stock, so that makes more people buy it. Just because of the price. People look at price a lot. You,
yeah,
sh- you shouldn't, but that's how people do it.
right. Which is crazy, right? Because if you look at 445 of AMC, look at the volume, right? 2.43 million at 445.
Yeah.
At 445, yeah, I mean, there's more volume there. You're right. Yeah, I mean, the volume for GME started dying down, right? I mean, the peak was here. So at 335 was the peak, 2.3 million. And then the peak was, look at that, 12.4. Yeah, so basically, 4 times the volume. And it didn't move as much, which to me I find that odd, right? Because you would think that a stock that's cheaper, that you could buy more of, that has more volume, would be able to go higher. But I guess it doesn't work that way, right? GME is just such a monster when it comes to this.
But if you look at the following candle after that one, it's almost engulfing. It's like
Yeah,
the same big volume took them down. So
that's true.
that's probably a lot of people taking profits.
Yeah, yeah,
Because most
yeah,
people are holding AMC around between like $8 and $10. That's what I think when most people bought it a few weeks ago. So that's also gonna be a good. Uh, you're gonna see a lot of price movement there because
yeah,
they're
true.
gonna try to take their profits. At the same time, they want to follow the hype of GME
Yeah,
and the good news. So and then it finally broke after hours, like around 4:30. That's when you got 4 big candles there,
yeah,
confirming the movement.
yeah, exactly. So what advice would you give to people that are thinking of, okay, first, do I want to get in any of these?
First,
And uh, and
people
what's your strategy? Like, what are you hoping for?
first you cannot get emotional because you have to always think before just jumping in. Don't just FOMO. Think about the two scenarios. Now that there are more probabilities of going up, at least of the tomorrow and the next couple of days because of the like we saw the stimulus check
Right.
that just happened. So tomorrow is going to be a lot of people jumping tomorrow because they did not get on time today. So tomorrow might be a big day, and if you reached your break-even point and or you already making a profits,
Hmm.
take some profits because this thing is not gonna just
Yeah.
go to the moon and always, and you're gonna get out on the right on the top when it reaches like 500 or
Right.
whatever. Don't try to pick to get the right top. If you have profits, profit is profit.
Right. No, I agree with that because yeah, you like you said, you can't get emotional. Set a goal, right? Set a goal and say, okay, I want to make X amount, whether it's percentage or dollar amount, whatever you prefer. I prefer percentage because I think it gives more of a a good picture. But I think you need to, yeah, I think you need to take some profits. But you also have to say, you know what? If I take profits, let's say GameStop, if I take profits at 200 and it hits 400, you can't think like that because then you're never going to sell and you're always going to want to get more and more and more. You also can't be greedy.
Yeah.
Don't be greedy because, right, because what happens is, let's say it hits 400 and you're like, oh, it's going to hit 500 and you don't sell. And then the same thing happened last time, right? And let's look at last time.
And don't feel bad if you sell it at 200 and reach 300 and you made a profit. You made a profit.
Exactly, right? Because look at last time, right? I mean, look at these numbers: 16, 20, 16, 20, and then we got to what? $483. But look at the open, 265. The high was 43. Look at the next day.
Yeah.
It opened at 379, it hit 413, but then it started going down. So don't get stuck holding the bag, Have a plan of action. I mean, trust me, this to me is such a high because it's so many mix of emotions. But then again, I got into this knowing that, okay, it's a risky play, but I'm willing to lose, a few $1,000s because it's such high risk, high reward, and because of the movement. But again, I'm probably going to take profits tomorrow, depending what number it hits. That's my take.
No diamond hands for you.
I mean, it's funny you say that, but I don't know because you said to me take profits at 200. I said I don't know, man. Diamond hands, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm all
You,
over the place. 1 minute I think
you
I'm
got
selling.
it. You got emotional there, But
No, I
it's
didn't get
almost at
emotional.
200. It's almost at 200 again. So you did the right thing. Tomorrow might be 300. And
Yeah, and that to me is just the feeling that I have, right? Is that it is gonna probably do that because I'm trying to see like when I had the big breakout, right? So I had a big breakout, and then yeah, it opened at 88, closed at 147, and it had a huge jump. I mean, that's absurd. I mean, look at the volume, right? When it did that, 93 million.
there's a big gap there, and
That's
it has to fill the gap at some
yeah,
point. You always get filled.
yeah. And I just like to look at the line chart just to give an idea. But I mean, look at that.
That's a reverse W.
Or with Vietnam, no? Yeah, no. Yeah, for sure. So let me see what else we got here. So let's just take a look at some, we mentioned.
In worst case scenario, if you end up, being greedy and holding the bag, there's always some strategies that you can do with options to, adjust and reduce the losses. And in a few months, 2-3 months, you can get all your money back if you do some strategies that we're going to teach later on this channel.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think that's a good tip. Stay tuned for more and more videos. We hope to post daily. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Leave a comment, suggestions on the bottom, and appreciate you guys. And hopefully we'll have another big day tomorrow, not just for GameStop and AMC, but for others as well. And tomorrow's gonna be another exciting day.
Yeah, good luck.